In comparison to dyslexia, there's much less awareness that dyscalculia exists, that children can have specific difficulties in the domain of math. So when we look at the research literature, for every 14 research papers on dyslexia, there's one research paper on dyscalculia. This lack of a solid evidence base has also resulted in a lack of awareness amongst parents, amongst educators, amongst child psychologists. Most people are aware that children can have specific reading difficulties. Fewer people are aware that children can have specific math difficulties. Yet we estimate that the occurrence of dyscalculia in the general population is similar to that of dyslexia. So around 5% of individuals struggle with math and have what can be termed developmental dyscalculia. This lack of awareness also means that children are probably less likely to get diagnosed with dyscalculia compared to dyslexia. We need to remember as well that these two often co-occur. So children with dyslexia struggle with math, and children who are diagnosed with dyscalculia also often struggle with reading. In society, at least in the West, it's very well accepted to say I'm not good at math and my kids aren't very good at math, and therefore to kind of stop caring about math and to value reading much more highly than math. So it's very common for people at a dinner party, for example, to admit that they weren't very good at math at school. Yet, I don't think you hear people very often saying, I really struggled with reading, or even, I'm illiterate. The evidence, though, suggests that early math skills are a really strong predictor of later school achievement, of all sorts of life outcomes, not just how good you were at school, but your income levels, your health. Math is a strong predictor of that. So it's really important, therefore, given the importance of math, to reevaluate our attitudes and to give children who might be having math difficulties, who might have developmental dyscalculia, the attention that they deserve. If you suspect that your child might have developmental dyscalculia, it's really important that you get an evaluation, because that evaluation will enable you to get accommodations for your child and also to seek out the right sorts of interventions that might help them learn math.